David and housekeeper, Austin Jeff.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. Let's do this, guys. First off, I want to welcome you guys, and I want to remind you guys that we are sponsored by the Virtual Fight Tour. We got Virtual Fight Tour 5 coming up this weekend, January 23rd, 6 p.m. It is going to be awesome, so make sure you guys check that out. Go to myeventex.com to find that out and get the link for that and get your tickets now. All right. So, Alex, how you doing, my friend?
Man, I'm doing all right. I'm getting hyped for the VFT 5.
Yes, sir. Me too.
But, dude, I tell you, I'm going to be stressed because it's my daughter's birthday party.
I know. That's what I was wanting to tell you.
time.
I was listening to you on the podcast, the other podcast with Eugene. And
Fist Kicks and Flicks, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to say happy birthday to your daughter, man. We got to give her a shout out.
Oh, yeah. Shout out. Her name's Louisa. Louisa's going to be 4. Louisa's going to be 4, and we're going to have a kitty cat themed birthday.
Awesome.
Last year, we had a unicorn themed birthday, which if we could do unicorn for probably the next 2-3 years, and it's pretty much fine. All right.
Yeah, or a unicorn mixed with a dragon mixed. I don't know. Remember, like when you were telling me what animals she got for Christmas and how it was.
Yeah, that's not. She got these 2. This is not an exaggeration. She got a rainbow butterfly unicorn kitten. That's a real thing. She got that.
All right, man.
And then she got a striped, sparkle-hearted, this is on the belly, butterfly elephant. This is for real. These are things, all right?
Great.
She loves those things. Dude, I have 2 opposite
So
extremes.
you got a big weekend of parties and having fun and hanging out with that.
I feel bad though too at the same time. So it's not about that. So I forget this every year. I feel so bad. My neighbor Oscar, super cool guy, love this dude. Same like stage of life as Lindsay and I. He's got 2 kids. He's got a daughter and then a son. You know, older and younger, just like us.
Yeah.
And he's a retired Marine, just like my brother-in-law. So it was like we're tight like that, dude. I forget every year. His birthday's on Saturday too.
Oh, okay.
It should be easy for me to remember. Yeah. And I text him like, "Yo, homie, you know, once you and Shannon come through, you know, if you're not doing anything," and then he didn't even respond.
Yeah.
His wife responded and was like, "Oh yeah, we can't because it's us." I was like, "Oh, how the heck do I always forget?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's whatever. I feel bad.
Oh man.
But yeah, it's gonna be cool though. VFT 5.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Yeah. What else have you been up to?
I did that. Well, so like you were talking about, I did the podcast with Eugene with Perfect Weapon.
Everybody needs to go and check that out. Perfect Weapon.
So that I'm surprised that I haven't seen that one before because this is what I used to do.
Too.
Okay, my wife Lindsay was a bartender. Used to be one on Friday nights. All right. At this winery, right? So that's what she would do. And she would always close on Friday nights. So it was just like this thing. It was like, all right, I'm going to be hanging out at home on Friday nights by myself. This is pre-kids, right? Obviously.
Right.
So I'm just going to be hanging out there by myself. So what I would do is I'd be like, all right, this is going to be like old karate movie night. And that's what I would do. Every Friday night, I would watch some old karate movie. You know, like... You cliche ones like you watch Lionheart, you know, you watch like the other Van Damme, you watch Hard Target, all sorts of stuff like that. Yeah. Right? How did I not watch this? I don't know. But I really was digging it. So as far as like the cinematic like features, it's not that great, right?
Right.
As far as the story is it's pretty simple, right? But I actually really liked the martial arts because it wasn't over the top. It was like people love the
I haven't
Bourne
watched
Identity.
them in years, but I used to watch this thing like once a week when I was a kid. I watched it like once a week. But all right, so here's the funny part. I watched it, and again, I think I shared this before. When I used to not DVR, but record video movies that would be on like TV or something like that, right? Or I'd get them from
like on a VHS.
someone
right?
who had like HBO, and then they would give it to me, and then somehow it would be on 2 different tapes. So I always watched it, and I skipped a small part, but it was like a key part to me, at least. It was like, and I remember it was like maybe 5 minutes of the movie that got cut out of my recording that I had. So when I finally like watched it like on a service or whatever, like Netflix or something somehow later on, and I was like, wait, they added this in here. They added this in. It was like, no, you just missed this for all those years. So
that's pretty funny.
Yeah. So yeah, but man, I always loved that. And one of the coolest things I liked about it, one of the things I always remember is the ring that he had with the dragon and the tiger.
I forgot to talk about that.
I don't even think y'all talked about that at all. I don't know if y'all did or not.
I wrote that down in my notes to talk about that because they didn't say anything about that in the movie. It was just like he got his black belt and he got this really weird
ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
He's
cool,
got this
man.
really weird silver ring that had like a normal like ring front, but then it was like a tiger on the other side. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That
So
would be
and the way the
like,
tiger
what is this
went
about?
into your crevice when you punch, and so it doesn't hurt your hand. And then if you want to really mess someone up, you turn around, you hit him with the tiger. Yeah, good old Perfect Weapon.
I think
man.
that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So, hey,
did they talk about that?
I thought it was a great movie, though. I thought it was a great movie. There's so many things that I remember from that. I'm only I don't even think I'm halfway through the podcast. I think I'm maybe.
Oh man, it gets fun.
I'm right where his friend gets killed. So I'm in the very beginning of that.
It gets fun.
So
all y'all insiders, if you haven't listened to Fist Kicks and Flicks, the review of Perfect Weapon, check that one out. Eugene and I have a fun time with that.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, man,
Speaking of podcasts,
what was that?
Well, I was gonna say, speaking of podcasts, where we have a fun time reviewing things, CTE was talking quite a bit about VFT 5, which I know we'll get into today. But tell me what you guys have going on. Yeah,
so I just got back. Let's see. Remember, I told you that I was going to do this year. I was going to do rock climbing, indoor rock climbing, and I've done it 3 times already.
Worn out?
Yeah, man, it's fun, dude. So tonight was the first time we took Shelly and I took the kids there, and so they actually all enjoyed it. So now it's like, okay, we got to pay for 5 of us to do this now because everyone wants to do it. But it's a lot of fun.
Do you think you're going to do it on a real rock sometime? Do you ever foresee
I would like
yourself?
to, because I think it would be more fun to do like outside, and everything.
Wow.
But I need to learn how. I need to just figure out what kind I really want to do.
How do you do that? Like, what do you do? Just like when people say, "Oh, you can't be this free climb," that would be like suicidal. But I'm wondering, how do you get?
So free climbing isn't what people think. That's called solo. So free climb, it just means with your hands and mountain climbing shoes, but you still have a rope. Okay, so that's free climbing. Like solo is like when you don't have any rope or anything. If you fall and you probably will die or you will hurt yourself severely, right? So that's what that is. That's different. Like that's like without anything. And then you have people that do stuff like with like axes or whatever, and they go into the rock, or you have people that ice climb, which is crazy. And they axes and go in there. Yeah. So there's all kinds of stuff. But these gyms are cool because they have what they call bouldering, which is kind of smaller but more difficult. So it's like, in certain areas, there's just this huge 40, 50-foot boulder that's there, and you got to find a way to get up it, using just your hands. And there's no equipment because if you fall, you jump off.
To what? To the ground?
The ground, yeah. Most people, though, if they're going to do that, they bring like their own pads or mats or something, and they have a spotter.
Get out of
so
here.
it's crazy. So it was cool. So the first day, I think I could only make it up one of the boulder things. And then I've done like 4 or 5 now. But I've been doing them without like the rock climbing shoes, just my regular shoes. So once I get some actual rock climbing shoes, that would be cool. So that's been
This
fun.
is real what you're talking
I
about.
did this like right now. Like I just got in like 15 minutes ago from there.
I can see you're like a little flushed.
Yeah, so that was fun. And all of us just had a good time. So it was cool. And I just left the karate school and went right to there. And today's been crazy. You know, I did another podcast today. I went to a real cool studio to do that. And I've been all over.
Did you plug in the main?
I plugged in the Inside Scoop, telling them that I was about to do that. The main, all of those. Yeah, so it was cool, man. So I'm excited. I have a lot of podcast interviews coming out either this month or next month. So I have, I think, 3 different ones that I have. One's a sport karate one is like a leadership style one, and then another one is a local business one. So
those are all up your alley.
Staying busy, doing that, any way you can promote, but also share what you enjoy is fun, man. So,
well, those listening to the podcast right now, we will have some other stuff that we're going to drop as to what we're going to be doing later. So stay tuned. Don't just put this pod off till later, because there's going to be some gems dropped at the end.
Yes.
But
yes.
Speaking of, I had like just some of these conversations. I had this conversation with somebody, and it's a conversation that everybody in martial arts has had.
Oh yeah.
For forever. And we just never talked about it. So it happened to me, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, I was stretching at the gym, right? Because I was about to do legs again, because I do legs every day.
Right.
And listen, I actually mean that. When I say I do legs every day, I do legs every day. Right. So
all right.
I do that. So they're not so I don't get sore anymore. My hip, though, I will say this. Last week I was fighting, and oh man, I did one just warm up, just popped a round kick out there. Not even like over my head, probably just like up my chest, just to pop it out there quick and down. Yeah. Hit the floor. Oh my gosh. I thought somebody shot me with a shotgun in the hip. That's how bad it hurt. But did I keep fighting?
That's the worst feeling.
Did I keep fighting?
Yes.
Heck yes, I did.
Of course.
Right? I don't quit. I will get hurt, but I don't quit. So yeah, so that was challenging. So I'm in the gym, I'm stretching, and this guy's like, yo, that was you pretty flexible. I was like, and so I wanted to kind of like stay in the zone and kind of end the conversation.
Yeah.
I sound like kind of an a-hole at the same time. I'm like, so what I said is I go, all right, yeah, I'm probably more flexible than anybody you're gonna see today.
There you go. You just made yourself. You asked for it, man. You asked for it.
No, but I kind of wanted to sound like an a-hole at the same time, right? Because I didn't really want to have a conversation. I go, yeah, I'm probably more flexible than anybody you're going to see today.
Well, that's going to bring that on, Alex.
And then I made sure I was like, turn away from him. Don't even look at him, right? Because I don't want to get wrapped up in a conveison. So he's like, oh yeah, why is that? And I kind of ignored him a little bit. And he's like, so what do you do? So I'm like, I just told him what my job was. I said, I'm a kitchen and bathroom designer. And he's like, no, what do you do? I said, I'm a martial artist. He goes, you like MMA? And I was like, no, I'm a martial artist. I've been a martial artist for almost 30 years. He's like, so then I was like, I didn't even think about it. I didn't think. So it's that point on. If you tell someone like, oh yeah, I'm a karate instructor, or oh yeah, right. I'm a competitor, or I'm a champion, or I'm a world champion, or I'm a national contender. From that point of the conversation on, we can all script what's going to happen next. Yeah. So what's he hit me with? All right. He hits me with, so does that mean you're like a black belt? Yeah. Oh, and then the next one's the best. Because anybody listening to this, you're like, yes, because this has happened. So does that mean like your hands are lethal weapon? Yes. Right. Yeah, but no, they're not. Right?
How'd you get your hands registered, man? How's that process work?
But it's like so weird. Like these rumors that are out there. He's like, yeah. So I heard like in California, bro, Like, you got to get your hands registered as lethal weapons. Like, I'm pretty sure that's not the case, but I've never lived in California.
Right.
He's like, so, like, does that mean? And then this is the best one. This is the best. This is when they go, so does that mean you can kick my ass?
Yeah.
And I wanted to say yeah, but what I said instead is I go, I mean, do you want me to answer that? Like, do you want me to answer that? And he's like, so then all of a sudden we get to talk, and it's like, all right, he ended up to be kind of a cool guy, right?
Right.
So,
but yeah, I mean that conversation, it's
we've all had that.
We've all had it, and it usually ends. Yeah. So, all right, and it all depends on how you kind of say it too. Like for me, it's a little different now because, all right, I'm a business owner, so when
you want to talk about it a little bit.
I say a little bit, but not overly. It's like, oh, okay. It's like, well, are you a black belt? Like, well, yeah, I own a martial arts school. But I guess true, like, I don't have to necessarily have a black belt to do that, nowadays. But really, that's kind of like, whatever. But
sorry, you almost made me spit coffee out my nose.
But there's a lot of people that don't. But there's that one, and then the next one is so you could kick my ass. There's that. That's the second one. Then the registered thing comes up.
Yep, happens all the time, right?
The next one is so you can do a backflip, right? Like,
I forgot about that.
Where in the world did a backflip become like a requirement to everyone to do martial arts? It's like the funniest thing. Like,
right?
You can do a backflip. Like I was talking about. I was watching another podcast. Garrett Lee does a good podcast, right? And we had talked about maybe working with him and bringing him on sometime as a guest. And he was talking about just how everyone does a backflip in their forms, and he was talking things like that. And it's just funny to me how I've seen people where I've done like a standing 720, or I've showed some friends of mine like a 1080 or something like that. That's really hard, right?
Yeah.
And they'll be like, wow, that's cool, but can you do a backflip?
What?
Like, no, I don't want to do a backflip right now, right? Like, I did a B-twist. Oh, that's cool, but
can you do a backflip?
Yeah, it's like it doesn't matter. They just want to see the backflip. I'm like, okay.
And it doesn't even matter. Like, you could do something like wild. Like, you could do a Webster, right? For those point fighters who maybe don't know what we're talking about, that's a front flip with a kick, right?
Right.
So, which is way harder than any kind of backflips. Way harder. Front tumbling is way harder.
Yes.
Plus the kick. And it still doesn't mean anything unless it's the backflip. Like, where did this standard come from?
Because
clearly you have never tried this.
People that can do amazing backflips and flash kicks and everything, and the most they can do on a jump spin kick is 360. Like, I've seen people like that, And so it's just funny to me how everyone has a different, most people want to see that. That's what they want to see is, well, can you do a backflip? Oh, does that mean this? Or does that mean that? And, for me, it usually gets, oh, okay, so where's your school at? Oh, I've always wanted to do jiu-jitsu or whatever it was that they want to do. And do you do this or do you do that? And, what level belt are you? And it just gets more and more. And all right, so if I punch you right now, what would you do? Like, all right.
So the only time I really hate talking about it, there's two times I hate talking about it. One is when you're coming back from a tournament and you have this trophy that you couldn't really check. It's like, all right, you don't really keep trophies anymore, but it's like, all right, you got this one. You kind of like, and you ain't putting it in no bag. So you're just going to hold it and carry it. And now you're going to get talked about. Like, what is this thing, right? So you're going to get that. So that's kind of annoying. But at the same time, that's the one time you're like, hey, I'm going to be appreciative of this for today. And then I'm going to put it away, and then no one's going to know about it or talk about it. So this is like a little bit. However,
man, have you ever had like the whole plane get excited about it, and then they make the captain, the pilot, like announce you over the that's happened several times.
Congratulations! I have not had this.
Yeah, let's say congratulations to one of our passengers who just won the national championship. Yeah, I'm like, oh god. I'm like, really? He's in seat. Blah,
that's
blah,
actually
blah.
Really dope. I've never had that.
Yeah, that's happened several times.
I have had when I landed in Minneapolis. This is after I won like the U.S. Open, and I had one of the big trophies. I just brought it home with me. I liked it. I was proud of my win, and so I brought it home. And this guy was like, "What is that?" And I said, "It's a trophy." It's kind of like pointed to what it was. It's like, "Yeah, it's the U.S. Open. I won, my division at the U.S. Open." And he's like, "So what was it?" It's like, "It was fighting." And he says, "Here, take my card. I want to put you on the air. I got a radio station. I want to put you on the air." And I'm like,
What?
"Awesome." And I lost the card within 4 minutes. And I'm like, Fast forward, a year later, National Karate actually partners with that radio station. He remembers me and was pissed at me and said, "You never called me, and I had everything set up for you to be on the air, and you never called me." And I'm like, "Oh man, you gotta be kidding me!"
Wow.
So yeah, he was legit pissed. He's like, "Yeah, I had to get clearance and everything. I had to get approval for it. I got it even before you called, and you never called."
Wow,
like, oh, crap. But you know what, though? I will say the one time I actually do hate it is if you're out at a restaurant or bar, right? Because then if somebody catches wind, then it's like they want to challenge you all the time, all the time, right?
Yeah. Or if so for me, like I'll go and someone that knows me from like another karate school, or they went to another karate school, but they always heard about me or something like that. And they see me out at a restaurant or something, and they'll come up like, "Hey, I'm just a big fan," or whatever. I'm like, "All right," and then it will start like more and more and more. They'll be like, "This is the guy that kicked my butt." I'm like, "Oh, don't start that." Like I had a friend of mine who is not really a friend of mine anymore because he kept doing this all the time. And, he would introduce me to some guys and the guy, me, I'm 5'5". This guy's probably 6'4", something like that. He'd be like, "This guy can whip your butt." This is the guy I was telling. I'm like, dude, no one wants to hear that,
man.
No one wants to hear that. Yeah. I'm like, all right, dude, I'm tired of getting, just having to talk myself out of things or even just, fight myself out of things that you put me into for no reason.
Yeah, I'll tell this last one and then we'll move on with the rest of it. I had that happen to me one time. I don't know. I might have mentioned this before, but I had a guy like that. I can't stand this guy. To this day, I can't stand that guy. And he's just kind of one of those friends of a friend that leeches on. You're like, he's not going to be here, is he?
Right.
Now I just want to go home.
Yeah.
So we're out. First Avenue, downtown Minneapolis, not the club, the street. Right, it's kind of a strip. So we're out, and he's being an a-hole, and he's like, "My boy, you kick your ass." He's doing one of those things, and so he comes up to me and goes, Alex, come here. And I don't know what's going on. I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "This guy's gonna kick your ass." He's telling him about me now, which I'm not gonna do. However, I know the guy he's pointing at and yelling at.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's name was Marcus LeVessler. Now, Marcus LeVessler had a collegiate wrestling record, I kid you not, of 155-0.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He is 155-0. And I remember at my brother Adam's last wrestling tournament he ever did, because Adam didn't make it to state. In Minnesota, they only take 2 people to go to state per weight class from each section, and Adam took 3rd. All right? And so there was this one little guy. Everybody, the whole tournament's like after this guy. I'm like, "Yo, who's this little dude?" Everybody's getting after. He goes, "This guy would smash anybody in this building." I'm like, "Yeah, right." And then he goes, "Alex, he would smash you and you'd have no clue what the heck hit you." Like, "Yeah, right." He started telling me about it. I'm like, "Damn, for real? That's the guy."
Yeah.
This guy's at a point, like, he's going to kick your ass. And I'm like, "Shit, I really, really, really don't." So I tell the guy, I go, "Yo, I know who you are.
Yeah.
I want no parts of whatever this guy is saying is going on."
Yeah.
And he hits me with this, and he goes, "I know who you are. You're Alex Dingman." And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, I went to some karate tournament. It was like a Minnesota State, championship of some kind, and you won. I know you are, man. I'm not messing with you." And I'm like, "Get the hell out of here."
That's cool.
No
cool.
freaking way did this happen. I'm like, I want to get out of this scenario so fast.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, because I've had the same thing where I've had friends of mine that I wrestle with that were just really good at wrestling, but they've also were friends of mine from tournaments and seeing, they're like, no, dude, we're in two different realms, and then we would end up finding ways to like train together and help each other out and stuff. So that was cool.
Yo, insiders, you all got to comments. Tell us about what your stories have been like. So come on the main page. Come on, comment on the pod.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Yeah, when we release the podcast on the page on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, comment under that, so that way we can talk about that and
I would love to hear.
You guys. Oh yeah,
who do you think's going to have a good one?
Oh,
who do you think's going to have a good story? Good one. I bet Angel Diaz has got it. I bet Sam Diaz has got a good one. I know that.
Probably got a good one.
I bet Sam Diaz has got a good one. I've heard some of Sam's stories. Sam's got some good stories.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anyone else. I don't know. I'm not sure. I also think about that.
I bet Sam Diaz has got a good one. Yeah.
Man! All right.
I bet Chance Turner's got a good one. I want to hear what chances are.
Yeah, Chance probably has some good ones. All right, so we got Virtual Fight Tour 5. This is titled The Draft. And, we had it's Team Jotty Tension versus Team Richard Plowden. And we also are opening the show with the call-out with Ben Stewart.
With the
Canada.
Only set match.
Yep, Ben Stewart from Canada. Canadian legendary point fighter, won pretty much most of or every world championship, with the W's. And going against Anthony Merrickx, one of the really competitive and well-traveled and experienced competitors that we have, one of the top ones, you know what I mean? Like when you think of competitors that compete everywhere and often, you think of Kevin Walker and you think of Anthony Merrickx, really, in my opinion, of people that fight the most in every which way. Those two are up there. The other one that I think right now has really done a lot is Bailey. But really over the past probably 5 to 6 years, it's been Anthony and Kevin who have competed everywhere. So Anthony's very experienced. So this is going to be a great fight.
You know what I was thinking about that today, and Anthony's got probably as much experience as I have or more, and he's in his 20s still. Right. He's like 28, 29.
I think 28 or 29, yeah. So
yeah. So I'm like 10, 11 years older than him. And he's got probably as much or more experience than me.
Right.
I just was thinking about that. Like,
yeah, it's crazy, right?
That's wild.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So he's going to pull double duty as well, so that's going to be exciting. This thing's going to kick off the show. 3 rounds in a cage. Man, Ben has been training this dude. We had him on the show. I mean, hearing his story, he's no joke. I've known just how the mindset he has for life, for business, for everything. He always is trying to challenge himself. This dude's been killing it, And Anthony is experienced. Anthony is he's one of the top 3-4 heavyweights there is right now in America, right?
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah,
he's I would say, worldwide as well.
Right.
Anthony's one of the best heavyweights in the world.
Right. So, I mean, this is going to be exciting. We got a 28, 29-year-old versus 40. What do you say, 42?
I think he's 43. But 43. I don't want to age the guy more than he is. I certainly don't want to do that. I thought it was that.
Awesome. So what do you think, man? I mean, it's going to be, listen to Ben, it's going to be the blitz, right? It's going to be hands mostly.
Don't rule it out. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I mean, he may be throwing some
good kick to the side of the face. Because the rule that out is like ruling Ben out. Ben is Canadian hockey strong. You know what I mean?
It's true, but he's also Canadian, so he's going to have a reverse punch because that's what they do.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've racked my brain around it so often. Here's what the thing is, and you know what I think I'm in the same boat as just about everybody.
Yeah.
We're looking at it and we're going, we should pick Anthony because there's just something. Like I said, there's just something about removing yourself from actual rounds and competition Like sometimes you need a tournament just to get yourself warmed up. Like if you're like, all right, I want to get ready for
right.
compete, right? You got to do a tournament or two, like a local one. You really got to get to get the cobwebs, kind of kicked off. You might go to a local tournament, you might lose that first round and be like, crap, man,
right.
Glad I got that out of the way. You know what
I
mean?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. The only thing is that Ben's last tournament was 2019 November, right? Anthony's was maybe January? Did he go to AKA?
There was no AKA. What are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about January 2020?
In January 2020, there was an AKA. So that's what I'm talking about. So 2019, 2020, that's 2 months difference. It's not that much difference in that, okay?
Oh, wow.
So then
he also
Anthony had 2 fights.
Two VFTs.
Okay, but that's still not that much. It's not like going to a tournament
exactly
every
what
weekend.
We're going to do.
It's not like going to a tournament every other weekend or like what we were, okay? So that whole thing isn't the same as what we were. So really time-wise on that isn't that much. But like we said, Anthony, it just goes, right?
Right.
As far as shape-wise, I mean, I'd have to say Ben's probably in better shape. But again, who knows?
We've seen that from Anthony. Everybody says that, like, oh, which Anthony's going to show up.
Right.
It's hard.
It is hard
for people because what people want is people want like whatever it is that you're going to be. They want you to stay consistently that. That's really freaking hard to do.
It is
because that just means just like chalk. Like, all right, we know this is going to be. We know this going to win. We know this going to win. We know this going to win. It's very hard to just be automatic. You know what I mean?
Right. And
who's just automatic? The freaking greats.
Right. And this fight for Anthony is going to be completely different than the other 2 VFTs he's had before, right? So, Brandon,
as far as his competition,
right. Brandon, competition-wise level was up there with him, but weight-wise he was a lot smaller than Anthony, but speed-wise he was there. Then you had Chris, who was weight-wise up there, but conditioning-wise was not, right? So that's where he went down. Now you have Ben, who kind of in the middle. He's probably faster than I would say Chris probably. But he is a heavyweight, like a big heavyweight. You know what I mean? So it's real heavyweight. Yeah, he's a real heavyweight. So it's going to be different. I mean, I would love to see the comeback story, but I think that Anthony needs this win. I mean, just because, why not? I think no one needs a loss, right? So for anyone to say they need a loss, no, yeah. But, Anthony is going to be the key to this whole show, really. Like, he's the one holding this whole show together. So he's on the first thing, and then he's going to be in the team fight as well. So Ben's going to be putting the pressure on, man.
What are you picking? Go with your pick.
I just feel like I'm going to go with Ben. Just something. I think something. I just think he's ready, and he's put his mind into it, and he's really thought of it more than I feel. Maybe, but I don't know how Anthony has, but we will see. The game plan. That's just what
I'm going to go with Ben as well, but I'm going to do it a little differently. I started really thinking about this a little differently than at least that I've heard anybody talk about it. So Ben, it really kind of feels like Ben's getting ready for this thing to be like, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here we go. I did this one last big thing.
Right.
And he's not gonna say anything until he's done or wins. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
He's just waiting for one last big event like this, and he can go, I'm done now, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really feels like that to me. You know?
Well,
and so
he wants to help the sport too. You know what I mean? Like, so he really wants to help VFT get more Canadian people and get more people from Europe. Same thing when he was on our show. We got
Yep.
a lot of new people from Canada that were listening and stuff after this, So he's really pushing it. So it's pretty cool.
So I'm gonna go with that. I think he can do it.
Yeah.
Here's my problem with Anthony. You know what happened? Is the first one was with Brandon. I picked Brandon.
Yeah.
Or no, I picked
You picked
Anthony.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Brandon won.
And Brandon won.
And then you picked Chris.
And then when I picked Chris, and Anthony won.
Yeah. So
now I can pick
right.
Ben. I hope he does, because I'm flip flopping between Anthony's fights. Hopefully, I can at least get one right. I don't know. I got three shots. Like maybe I can get one of them right.
Both of these fighters, it's going to be a good fight. I'm excited for it. So we get a real heavyweight fight. You know what I mean? So it's going to be fun.
But now we didn't really talk that much about. We didn't talk at all about the draft.
Right. So the draft was fun. It was really cool. I know one of the things the biggest thing for you've told me several times on what you thought like the biggest hiccup was as far as mistake that someone did or didn't do.
So Team Plowden goes first.
Yeah.
They take Bailey. Slam dunk. No brainer. Okay. And then Team Tension goes next, and they get Christian.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I heard the other guys like, why didn't you take Tyson? I actually think Jotty taking him was the right choice.
No, me too. I agree on that.
Because you don't want Team Plowden to get Christian and Bailey.
Right.
Can't have that.
No.
I was like, damn. What do you got?
Well,
you know what I mean?
what he could have done, what he should have done was take Christian and then the next one take Tyson or whoever he wants. That way he had the best two that were available for him.
Yeah, so he did all right. I think when I look at the rosters, I think Team Plowden is going to win this one.
Mm-hmm.
I just think because there's certain ones where it's like, all right, you have to match up against them. Like the 35 males have to fight each other.
Right.
35 plus females have to fight each other.
Yeah.
I think Team Plowden wins both of those. Those are just
right. Those two are
right away.
Rasha over D and Mike Simmons over Terry Lee. Again, though, it doesn't matter who wins. It's the amount of points, right? So it's a total points fight. So and then the last two fights are 2 rounds. So that's going to be kind of like what they said on CTE. I mean, it needs to be, and probably smarts wise, Christian versus Bailey and Tyson versus Powell at the end, right? Because it would be
great for us.
You want your best fighters to fight the 2 rounds, right?
But here's what's going to happen.
But
one team is going to be ahead by 4 to 6 points.
I think there's possibility for more than that, honestly.
But let's say if one team's ahead by like 4 to 6 points.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's say Team Plowden is down.
Right.
Right. And there's like 4 more fights left. And they send Paulo out there. Now it forces you to send Tyson. Now. Right. So it's like, all right, so now we got to do that. Exactly. Or somebody like that. So now it's like, it's just, I don't know what's going to happen. Just the fact that it should end up to where we get Christian versus Bailey, we get Paulo versus Tyson. Yeah. I just feel like one of those we're not going to get.
Exactly.
It would be kind of nice if they kind of just had a head nod, like,
yeah,
all right,
yeah,
strategy. Those are our last 2, one way or the other. One of them is going to be the last fight. The other one's going to be the fight before. That's how we're doing. That would be cool if it was kind of like unspoken. That would be it,
right?
But you can't.
So I agree with you on the 35 plus. I feel like Team Plowden has the advantage on that. On the female, I don't know. Who is it? Is it on? No,
Brianna Nurse and Emma.
That's the 16 to 18. So I know that one. Brianna Nurse versus Emma. That's going to be a good fight.
Yeah.
So Emma was really one of the more impressive fighters that we saw in the first one with her movement and
Yeah.
everything, right? And then
I
the
was
way
pretty
that she,
impressed with that.
the way that she kicked and how she kicked, but also with movement like that. Remember when we watched that one, everyone just went straight at each other. That was the only
Not
fight where
her.
we saw some movement and some angles and circling.
Right.
And at that time too, she was going against someone who was a lot taller than her and was a good kicker. And so Brianna is taller than her. And
But I don't think Brianna can kick as well as her.
I don't think
Not that she needs
No.
to.
Right. No. It's going to be tough. Emma still, again, she has the experience. She competes more. She, does a lot. Brianna was off. I think Brianna's style went against Hope a little better than it does Emma. So I'm interested to see this one. I still think, I don't know, I think that one could be a tie match, honestly. So I think that one could be like a null, like almost just like a wash,
Right.
or a 1 point, So that's what I think on that one. Where are we at with the females? So that's the younger girls, and then the
But
females
then
we
with
have
the 19 to 34.
and is it Audrey?
Audrey and
Yeah.
Peyton.
And so I'm not real familiar with her, but I know that she's fought with, I think, WKC and trains with Plowden. So, and then Peyton is on Velocity. So, I've seen her since she was a kid competing, and she continues to get better.
Well, that makes one of us.
So yeah,
I've seen nothing.
So I'm not sure, who's gonna get that one. There was several, and we don't know. Have we been informed if there's going to be any alternates? Like if someone can't make it or anything like that? We haven't been.
I mean, I don't know how they're going to do that. Could they just be like, are the
Hey, you
alternates?
still gotta get here, or
Because do the alternates go?
go? Yeah,
Because it would be kind of fun. Like if you had the availability to just go, but
go and
if you just go and take off work and just
yeah.
Hey,
it's a trip to New York, right?
You know what though? I might do it. I'd
Yeah.
probably do it. What am I talking about?
Yeah,
Here
probably
I am
so.
being like, trying to poo-poo it. What am I talking about?
Yeah,
If I was training, if I got drafted and I was ready to go, I'd be like, yeah, honey, sorry, I got to go to New York.
I gotta do this. I got drafted.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
how many times have guys done that? They go to a tournament. They're going to team fight, and they don't get and they don't fight, which is no big deal. But at least they have Saturday that they're going to compete in. So
true.
I don't know. Yeah,
But,
I hope all the guys go, because that would stink if they didn't.
Cool.
Get around your team, have fun. It's a
So-
fun thing.
so
Get around it.
That's going to be exciting. The 2-round thing is going to be different. I don't really know about the female fight, so that's going to be up in the air. The next, now we're pretty much at the men, right? And so for me, the men, I feel like the advantage goes to Jody on this one and his men.
You think so?
Oh yeah. So yes, he has the top fighter in Bailey. Now Bailey can bring back anyone.
No.
Uh,
Plowden's got Bailey.
I know that. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Plowden does, because you're saying you think so. And so, yes, I'm going the other end as explained. Yes, Plowden has Bailey.
Oh, I see.
And then his next one is Anthony, which is great. But after 3 rounds, who knows, what that's going to be like. And it really depends on who he's going against. 2 of the people on the other side are and we didn't mention the boys yet. We haven't gotten to the boys yet, so we got to remember that too. But the people on the other side are 2 of them are his teammates, so he knows them. So I don't know what that matchup's going to be like. But
let's look at it like this, though.
We got Angel, and Angel, man, he's got that leg. He could be a sleeper. And then we got Daryl, and so I'm familiar with Daryl. You probably are not. And see, that's my only thing is that he has not competed at that level. He competes in a local circuit in North Carolina and South Carolina. And now he's been really wanting to get out there and do things and been training and been doing a lot. But he hasn't surrounded himself in that top level point sparring group yet. Now he trains with a high level continuous fighter and traditional Kumite fighter, Torn Davis. who was a good point fighter back in the day, but he just always would get DQ'd because he would be knocking everybody out. But that's kind of the style that he has. He just wants to hit really hard. He does a lot of back leg round kicks and stuff like that, people that are smart to the game are going to pick apart. So hopefully he's gotten to that next level, you know what I mean? And is taking his time with it and doesn't get frustrated, because I've seen him get frustrated, and that's when he'll try to, drop someone or hit him hard. And that doesn't always work with what we do, right? So that just sets you up for more side kicks and blitzes and things. So I it's not that I'm not rooting for him. I really hope, but I feel like that's just kind of where I see, the more, because even Kevin, people may not know him, but he still goes to Jody's seminars. He goes to those types of things. He competes at, I think, Crane tournaments, which are at a higher level of tournament than what Daryl has been competing at. And so,
they might not fight each other though.
Right. Well, no, that's what I'm saying. So I just look at who is that link yet, and you're talking about a Darren Payne who is young and ready to prove himself in the adults.
Semi did,
Yeah.
He won in VFT 1.
Right. And, you got Sheldon, who, again, wants to show that he's still got it. He's coming out there. And, man, he's always a fun one to watch. And
you know who I think would be I think Sheldon against Angel.
Yes, that would be great. That would be really cool.
I just have this feeling that Angel is going to do something. Angel's my competitor of the week. I have this feeling that unless Angel is matched up against Christian, I think
he can
I'm predicting an Angel win.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
And that's not to say he can't beat Christian, because I don't want to say do that.
Yeah, no.
I don't know, man. The way he left that loss against Prelada, why didn't Pro put his name in here? You know what I mean?
Well, I'm confused about that. I don't know.
Yeah. So the way he ended, it ended with you feeling like, you didn't win, but man, there's gonna be a bright future for you.
Right. And he wasn't down. Like. He wasn't down on himself either. He was
because he knew.
Yeah.
It was almost like he knew there was validation for him. Like, I've been competing in national tournaments. Yeah, I've been in the scene. I've been around. I can do this thing. But it was like he knew, like, now I know I can do this thing.
Right.
Because I was that dang close. I should have won. Right.
Yeah, that was pretty
should have,
cool.
like, in his mindset. Like, I don't want to say like you didn't win Pro. I'm not saying that. Right. So I just had this feeling like Angel's going to be a big reason why that team wins.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. I like it. I don't know, man. It's really difficult. Plowden also not being there is going to be interesting.
Who do you think coaches that? Do you think they have
I just think Bailey coaches everybody. I mean,
he's pretty dang smart.
Yeah. So,
I don't know. Mike Simmons might take that over. He's the
right. One of those two. One of those
two.
Right, one of those two. But I feel like Bailey will be right there. Mike will be right there. Those two will kind of lead it. You know what I mean? Who else? Yeah, because they have Powell on that team. The only other one that I would say that because Tyson's a good little coach, man. So, but he's on the other team. But yeah. So Powell versus Tyson, or the other two fighters. All right, where are the other two fighters from?
When you say other two,
Aaron,
what are you talking about?
Aaron, was it Drozenil and Joshua Hayward? Josh. Yeah,
I don't know who they are.
Josh is from Jody's team, right? Is that right?
If you say so. Well, what though? This is fun. I don't want to say like, oh yeah, they'll match up against each other because they're the ones I don't know. Right. I'm because they're guys I don't know. I want to see how they fight. Right. I want to see how the 19 to 34 women fight. I want to see them.
Right.
I'm excited for it. I really am.
But you're picking Plowden's team, right?
I see too many W's that I can't justify an L.
Right.
But
wait a minute. You also have a team one person and we've seen come back from like a 10-point spread, for his team, like Bailey. He's done that. And so if it ever got to that point, it has. But I think Darren Payne can be that person too on that side too to get a lot of points. He has 29 points in 3 rounds. He can get,
Is he the scoring leader?
Yeah, he's the scoring leader for VFT.
All right.
So we will see how this goes.
Hey, Anthony and Ben, there could be a lot of offense in that one.
I
could see that one just going wham, wham,
Yeah.
wham.
That's going to be intense, man.
I've fought both of those guys before.
Yeah.
And it's been like that. There was a match of Anthony and I had where it was a little bit more calculated, and then there was a match where it was like, all right, they're going to say go, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And when I fought Ben, it was like, all right, they're going to say go, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So that's why I say I could see that going exactly like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe we have a new scoring champ. That would be fun.
That would be cool. I don't think people would expect it, because I think people are thinking, Ben's going to be the puncher. But who knows? He can put that leg up there.
It doesn't have to be a leg.
Oh,
It doesn't have to be a leg.
Think about it. You can get 10 punches in each round. Not easily, but that's a doable thing. So
we've watched it happen from a lot of people. Just one blitz at a time, and and when you can't stop it, you can't stop it. Those 1 points are going to rack up.
Correct. Yeah, and I feel like Ben has a height advantage, right? Is that right? I haven't seen. I'm pretty sure he does.
It feels like it.
I'm
not sure.
So him kind of going over top. Sometimes Anthony kind of has a scooping kind of D side, and so I think he'll be able to get over that easier. But I don't know. It just depends if Anthony gets his chamber up and to where it's pumping like I've seen him do before, he could. It's going to be a good fight. I know we went back.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure I'd do a lot of kicking from either one of them.
No, I don't think so.
We'll see. Who would your competitor of this week be?
Who am I? Who do I think of? See, what we were saying was
I'm gonna put mine on. Mine's Angel.
Yeah, you think he's the one that's
Angel's my guy. You're my competitor of the week, Angel.
So for me, the one that I feel like is going to get the most shine, I think the key to this thing is on how Daryl does, honestly. I think on how Daryl, he keeps it close and doesn't get wild and crazy and doesn't just go out. He goes out there to play a role for his team and not try to knock someone out or not try to just win by a bunch or whatever, get frustrated, and stays calm and just keeps his fight in a good playing field. I think that's going to make it to where it'll help his team. So I'll put him as, I think he's the key to it. But the person who I think who's going to show out and make a name for himself is Powell.
I knew you were going to say that.
So Powell, man, he's just this dude's won Waco Juniors. He's won Irish Open. He won, what was it, this year? He won the Irish Open. One of the open weights or something like that for the juniors, I think.
Yep.
Maybe he didn't win the open weight, but he won his division, one of the divisions. And he made it to a long stay in that one because he did the open weight for the adults and for the
juniors.
And he made it pretty far into both. So this guy's I've seen him for a long time. He does forms. He's really good traditional forms competitor. I think he's competed in some like NKF style tournaments.
That's cool.
And then he's been training, with Raymond for years, and him and Raymond's son, are training together and always just competing. And this dude's got some long legs. He's got a good leg.
He's smooth.
Yes. It's like, man,
he's smooth,
really smooth. And so I'm excited to see because kind of like what Chris and Carlos said, he's done some big deals, like some big things, right? And he's won his division at some NASCAR tournaments and things like that. But
he's going to be shouting for someone to put some respect on his
right
name.
there. You go. Yeah. So definitely want to see that. You know, everyone wants to see who's the best junior right now. You know, and his name needs to be in that hat. You know, him and it's him, Tyson, Alex, and Jason. You know, those four.
Jason, yeah.
Really. And there are some other ones too. There's some guys on K-Talk that are really good. There's some other ones that are that are great competitors. So
the future is bright.
Yes, big time, man, big time.
Speaking of the future, let's talk about what's going to be happening in the next few weeks. Listen, next week we're going to have. I'm not glad because I always kind of love being live on Facebook.
Yeah.
But for next week's show, it'll be a little R-rated. So we're gonna have
our show with guy from Ireland,
Dean.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the stories are gonna be a little bit more than that. So we're gonna have on the president of Waco USA, Rob Zabilski.
For Ring Sports, right? He's the president for Ring Sports.
He's the president. He's the president overall. He's given Jarrett and Bob Liker control over Tatami.
Okay,
right? So they've got that. So, but this guy, I love this guy, and hearing his stories, you can't make it up. Like, number one, like all we do is just share stories as martial artists,
right?
This guy has told me some stories. I'm not going to spoil it, but he's told me some stories, and I'm like, I have never ever heard anything even close to like this, right? Like, it's like that. Like, his stories are like up there with Mike Conrad, right?
Oh, right.
Oh my gosh, I can't even believe it, right? So
it's going to be good.
This is going to be you cannot miss this type of show. So you got to do that. But in February,
get ready.
February is going to be the biggest heavy hitter in name, but lightweight fighter of the month. So that's what we're going to do. February is going to be all lightweights. Here are the names.
We're going to have an interview each week.
We're going to have an interview every single week, and here are the names that we're going to have on: Donald Brady, Ibi Abdallah, Justin Ortiz, Robbie Lavoie. We might even have
another
one of the. I can't say it right now.
Yes.
We may have one of everyone's favorite fighter ever.
Yes.
All right. I'm not even gonna say the name because it would be bad. But it's just like if you knew that this was there and you didn't like tune into this podcast, you would slap yourselves. It would be like that, right?
Yeah. So when we're going to release the schedule probably next week once we get everything figured out and lined up. So get ready, guys. This is going to be fun. We're going to go down memory lane. We're going to get some insight on just the best lightweight fighters of the past, 30 years, 30, 40 years. Yeah, ever. So it's pretty exciting. Oh, man. This has been good.
Good hanging, bro.
Go and get VFT5. I am so excited for it. So you said Plowden, right?
I said Team Plowden. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if like the other one won, but it's like, I just can't. The way I look at it, I'm like, all right, I see too many W's. I see Team Plowden.
The competitors I think that I picked were all on Plowden's team, but for some reason I think that I don't know. I feel like Jody's team somehow with the men's group can get some points in there. So I'm going to go with Jody's.
Yeah, and he'll be the coach that's going to be there. That could have some influence, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Good hanging. All right, this has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week. We got a big one.